Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube draft. This is my favorite way to play Magic, and I'm super excited about it. So, for those of you who don't know what Vintage Cube is, it is a cube, which Porter's apparently excited about too, because he's down here with a toy. But it is a cube, meaning that every card only exists as a singleton. It is a draft format, and there's a bunch of super powerful vintage legal staples. Now, if I want to take, like, generically the most powerful card in this pack, I think it's Thalia. This is kind of a weird pack. I'm going to take Thalia because I'm going to try and probably just draft to win here. So Giver of Runes is very good. So is Palace Jailer. Palace Jailer is a removal spell. Oh, they added the Tri-lands, it looks like, as well as a Rishadan Port. Oh, they added the Tri-lands. Rishadan Port's been in the cube for a while. So the question is, what do I want to take? If I take Rishadan Port, that's another thing that can tax their mana on top of Thalia, which is very powerful. Avalanche Riders will probably come around. I don't know about Giver of Runes. Palace Jailer probably will not, although white is not generally a popular color to draft. I think I'm going to take Rishadan Port. It's just kind of good. Like, if you play like the mono-white or the red-white or the black-white deck, and you play something like Thalia, you can just tax your opponent's mana while, like, playing out stuff, and it just ends up being really good. So, what do we want in this pack? So, Fast Bond is amazing, but this is not probably a Fast Bond deck. Same with Citadel. We've passed too many good blue cards to really take a dig through time. I could take Bloodstained Mire if I think I'm going to need the fetch. Otherwise, I can just kind of like take a Revoker. Because like if I end up not playing white, which is possible, like I wouldn't have to play white just by picking Thalia. I can play Rishadan Port or Phyrexian Revoker in any sort of aggressive deck. Like if all the white cards out of this pack got picked and Abbot of Carol came around, we could end up playing like a red deck or something like that. I'm going to take Revoker though. Revoker seems good. Okay, so we've got Big Chad. We've got Metalworker. We just passed a Basalt Monolith, so probably not. There's a Recruiter of the Guard, which can go get, like, Thalia. There's a Ravages of War. Like, taxing your opponent's mana all the way up into an Armageddon generally will win the game. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to try and wheel Ravages of War if I'm going to build that deck. Showdown of the Scalds can also be very good. I played this card in a standard deck for a little bit when I was doing some testing, and I like the play pattern around it just a little bit better. I apologize, the dachshund's barking. I think I'm just going to take the Armageddon. Let's just go for it. We get a Land Tax. Land Tax is pretty nice. What else in this pack would I want? Mirari's Wake, kind of. Silverblade Paladin is okay. Same with Mishra's Factory, is just a man land. But Land Tax is powerful. We'll take Land Tax. Okay, so in this pack, there is a Plains Swamp Forest. So this could help us splash. Not a huge fan of playing tapped Tri-lands in what is probably going to be an aggressive deck. I think I'm just going to go with the Relic Warder here. This being Vintage Cube with the Power 9 and other incredibly powerful artifacts, I think it is beneficial to play something that can interact with artifacts, especially if it's on a body. Elesh Norn's probably a little higher on the curve than I want to go. Figure of Destiny is a great aggressive creature. This is probably not a Memory Jar deck. Swift Reconfiguration is technically removal. Enchanted Permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all other card types. I don't know how good that is, but you know what? I'm going to take it. It seems like a sort of Swords to Plowshares type effect. Okay, so there's Soulfire Grandmaster, there's Oust, there's a Miscalculation. Green is open, white is open. I'm seeing blue cards go late, so who's drafting what? I even saw Storm cards. I have no idea what other people are drafting. I actually kind of want to take Oust here over Soulfire Grandmaster. This card's amazing if you have, like, Time Walk, but yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Oust. Dismember is a removal spell we can play in this deck, but I'm not sure That's what we want. I think I would rather have the Seachrome Coast and then maybe have the option of playing like a Mana Leak or something if I got it. Giver of Runes and Palace Jailer and Avalanche Riders came around. So Palace Jailer is removal and card draw, which you just will not get in white otherwise. Giver of Runes is a mom effect that cannot protect herself. I think I'm going to go with Giver of Runes. If you have like Soul Ring or something, Palace Jailer is going to be a lot better. Okay, Wrath of God, Sun Titan, and Sword of Fire and Ice came around. I'm going to take the Sword. Big Chad or Recruiter of the Guard, or Showdown of the Scalds. I mean, Recruiter of the Guard's probably better in some sort of like Jeskai Kiki combo or something like that. I'm going to take Big Chad. Yeah, I'll take Silverblade Paladin. I'm not a huge fan of manlands in the white deck, though, I mean, like, they're not bad. And Figure of Destiny, final pick. Fantastic. Let's see what we're working with here. We've got Plateau, Hero of Bladehold, Razor Verge Thicket. This is not a Tolarian Academy or High Tide deck, unfortunately. Worn Power Stone, Brainstorm, Snuff Out. Really, I think our picks are either Plateau, Hero of Bladehold, or Razor Verge Thicket. I think those are the three picks that we're deciding between. Embereth Shieldbreaker to a lesser extent. This card's good just because it's a smelt that you can then cast as like a 2/1. I'm going to take, I think, the mana first here. Because there's a couple of things in this pack that we could get that would be fine. So I'm going to take the Plateau. I think red is slightly more likely. Ooh, there's a Jitte. There's Armageddon and Fury. We don't currently really have any red cards other than Figure. Yeah, we're going to go with Jitte. Jitte is a super busted Magic card. People want this unbanned in Modern, and that is a ridiculous notion. This card is absurd. I kind of like Swords here. Swords is just really good removal, even though like we're going to be an aggressive deck and try and attack our opponent's life total. If they like tinker for a Blightsteel Colossus or something like that, we can actually answer it. So we'll take Swords. Swords is really good removal. There's a Mana Leak, Elspeth Resplendent, and a Ponder. We do have a little bit of blue fixing, so we could take like a Ponder. I could take Knight of the Reliquary. Knight of the Reliquary could be good if we get like a Strip Mine or a Wasteland. We could tutor it up and then really aggressively tax our opponent's mana. General Ferris Rockrick. We have one multicolored spell at the moment, and he's just a dude that can make more dudes. I'm not sure that this Elspeth is super good. I think I could also take Young Pyro. Young Pyro would fit sort of in a deck like this if we got more of the burn spells. I think I'm going to take General Ferris Rockrick. I don't know that I'm going to be playing it, though. We're just kind of speculating on it a little bit. So there's a Scrubland if I wanted to play black. I have no reason to do that at the moment. I'm probably going to go with Containment Priest. There's a Wall of Omens. This is not really a Wall of Omens deck. I could take Opposition, because if we get a little bit more blue fixing, and we just like cast dudes and then play Opposition at the top end and just tap down all our opponent's lands every turn, that's really, really good. Containment Priest is probably going to come around. Not a lot of people are taking white cards, so I'm going to take Opposition and just see if we can get the fixing for it. Marsh Flats can fetch Plateau. There is a Spectral Procession. Ignite Memories is the Stormwind condition now? I saw Tendrils. And I saw Brain Freeze, so why did they add Ignite Memories? Maybe too many people are picking Storm and they wanted Storm to be more viable? That's weird. That's really weird. I think I'm taking Colonnade. Gideon Blackblade's not bad, but we'll probably wheel. Opposition's really sweet. There's also a Machine Gun Ballista here, which is pretty good. I'll take the blue fixing. Okay, there's Restoration Angel and Ephemerate. The pitch elementals are in, at least Fury was. So, I mean, if we get like a Solitude, Ephemerate becomes a super busted card. Ephemerate, in terms of the creatures we have right now, is not that great, though. I think I would rather take a Restoration Angel. Vindicate would be fun, but I didn't take the Scrubland or the Marsh Flats. I could take a Firebolt. I'm a little light on dudes, so I'm going to take the Restoration Angel. There's an Oblivion Ring, a Karmic Guide, or a Forest Plains Island. I guess this is technically fixing for white and blue. Otherwise, I can reanimate a creature for 5 mana or Oblivion Ring. I think I'm going to take the fixing there. I could take Razor Verge Thicket if I want to be able to splash green. I don't think I need to. Seagate Stormcaller is not really good with any of our spells. So this is probably a Hero of Bladehold pick. Armageddon came all the way around. Storm is like open, at least the win conditions are. I will take a Baneslayer. Knight of the Reliquary. Well, I don't think I'm playing Knight of the Reliquary. Let's kind of make a maybe pile over here. I mean, like, I didn't take Miscalc or Mana Leak, which could actually make this deck better. I know, like, we wouldn't want to play them alongside Thalia necessarily, but... Man, if we just go, like, 1-drop, 2-drop, play a land on 3 and 4 Armageddon, like, this deck will be super good. Containment Priest is good. Reanimator is an archetype, and Containment Priest can completely counter, like, Reanimator or Sneak Attack or shenanigans like that. I will take the Planeswalker, and I will take the Vindicate, which I'll also put in the maybe pile. So white's, like, super open because every multicolor spell that has white in it has come around. There's a Mana Crypt and a Balance. This pack's kind of stacked. And a Smuggler's Copter. So if I take Mana Crypt, which I'm thinking about because this is a really, really busted Magic card, Mana Crypt can let me play Revoker or Jitte or Thalia on turn 1, or Sword of Fire and Ice on turn 1, or Armageddon on turn 2 if I want to. And it can help me get to, like, Big Chad if I want to play Big Chad. Balance is really good, but I suspect Balance will come around. They put Extraction Specialist in the cube. Is that even good? Mana Crypt is better when you have more 3-drops, but, like, it's broken mana acceleration, and it does have some synergy here, so I think I'm going to take it. Almost all of the other cards in that pack aren't, like... They're just not as powerful as what we're doing here. There's a Blade Splicer. Blade Splicer does synergize with Mana Crypt and Restoration Angel. Just puts dudes onto the battlefield. Scrap Heap Scroungers, aggressive. Golos is probably not a Golos deck. Disenchant. Just Disenchant is like basically main deckable in this format, but it's still really more of a sideboard card. I'm gonna go with the Blade Splicer. Okay, we have Ashiok, Elspeth, Leovold, Godless Shrine, Flooded Strand. Oh, there's Mother of Runes. I think because of all of the white cards going around, I can wheel Mother of Runes out of this pack. Because that's the card I really want. If I can get an Elspeth Sun's Champion, that's not bad. But Flooded Strand, like, we can fetch up a Tri-land, we can fetch up a basic island. It's going to help us with opposition. Let's see. Okay, there's a Plains Island in Rafine's Tower, which is a tap land, and I'm not a huge fan of tap lands in an aggressive deck like this. There's Silent Clearing, which is a land that we can make cantrip later. Can also maybe let us splash like Vindicate if we got Rafine's Tower or something on the wheel. I think I just want another dude. Thraben Inspector gives you a delayed cantrip, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Thraben Inspector. So there's Lingering Souls, which I'm not like automatically splashing the flashback on or anything like that. Lion Sash, now Lion Sash is a card that I kind of wrote off as not being that great, but I watched a few other people playing Vintage Cube, and Lion Sash seemed to be like a messed up Magic card. So I think I'm going to take the Lion Sash here. Caracas is pretty good. Porcelain Legionnaire is pretty good. And I mean, having a Preordain in this deck wouldn't be awful because we are trying to splash double blue, but I will take the Caracas, I think. How has Bazaar of Baghdad made it this far around? Don't people know this card's broken? We'll take a Selfless Spirit, because this is not a Bazaar of Baghdad, Mana Flare, or Besiege deck. Yeah, we'll just take the random flying guy. I don't actually think we're playing any of those cards. I guess I can take a Parallax Wave. I'm probably not playing it, but I could. Otherwise, there's like Oblivion Stone, but yeah, we'll just take a Parallax Wave. This card is like a pseudo board wipe / save your own stuff from board wipes. You can do a lot of weird things with this card, but... Okay, our options are Archangel Avacyn or Extraction Specialist, or Hangerback Walker. I mean, Extraction Specialist we can play quickly if we get like a Mana Crypt hand. We can buy back Thalia, things like that if they die. I guess I'm probably more likely to play that than a 5-drop. Walker's great, it's just a little bit slow. So we'll try the Extraction Specialist, I guess. It is a lifelinker. I'll take Disenchant for the sideboard. Love me some Vintage Cube. This is my favorite way to play Magic. So I hope that I can share how fun this is with you guys, because you can just draft a whole bunch of silly decks. You can absolutely meme. You can play like Storm. You can play Storm without a win condition. You can do really messed up Reanimator decks. You can do... There's Mom. She wheeled. Fantastic. History of Benalia or Silent Clearing. Probably going to go with the Clearing. That lets us kind of splash this Lingering Souls if we want. Legionnaire definitely. And Forge Master we're not playing. You can draft all sorts of silly decks. You can, like, everything from control, there's combo, there's big mana. It's a lot of fun. So let me see. Mana Crypt I can almost play as a land. I don't think I'm playing Parallax Wave. I may not be playing Lingering Souls, but it's really good with opposition. I don't think I need Gideon Blackblade. We have 3 good 1-mana white removal spells. Land tax to help get lands out of our deck. We need to cut some number of creatures. Baneslayer is probably a little bit taller than I need to go. Hero of Bladehold can at least make stuff for opposition. I think Silverblade Paladin's kind of below par. Yeah, I think Mana Crypt is almost just a land. I might be able to, like, side in Gideon Jura. If this was 4-mana Gideon, I would probably cut other things before I cut him. Unfortunately, we did not get a Stoneforge Mystic, despite having Jitte and Sword of Fire and Ice. Maybe that makes Sword of Fire and Ice a little bit worse, but it's still a really good Magic card. I think I'm going to cut Oust. So then I can just play, like... not Plateau. Unfortunately, we did not get Wasteland or Strip Mine, but I think we have a deck. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. And I'll see you guys in round 1. Alright, welcome to round 1. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, we've got lands, we've got a curve. We're going to keep. We have much more powerful hands in this deck, but I have no idea what we're up against yet. And it is some sort of Utopia Sprawl deck. We draw our second Armageddon. Opponent is playing green-blue. So green-blue typically is like a fast bond, ramp deck. They do... they play things like Upheaval. We're going to play Porcelain Legionnaire because that's just going to pressure our opponent's life total the most. We draw Relic Warder, so let's go to combat and attack for 3. Okay, opponent does not do anything. I'm going to play Relic Warder because it does tax our opponent's mana here, because we can take Utopia Sprawl from them. Also, yeah, okay. So, opponent's turn. They play a Horizon Canopy. They immediately sack it to draw a card. Interesting. We draw a Rishadan Port, or Rishadan Port, however you pronounce that. I think I'm going to leave up Restoration Angel here. Actually, I'm going to port Shelldock Isle on their upkeep and flash in Containment Priest. And then probably just untap into an Armageddon, because they're dead in 2 turns. Caracas. Okay. So opponent is playing at least 3 colors, although Caracas could just be like a tech land. We draw Phyrexian Revoker, so let's go to combat. Attack for 7. And cast Armageddon. Pass the turn. Good luck. Okay, opponent scoops. Yeah, I mean, like, just blowing up all lands, it's effectively a time warp. So opponent is playing green and blue primarily. They have Caracas. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're playing white. If they're playing green and blue, they're playing ramp. We saw them cast Utopia Sprawl and sack a Horizon Canopy. That's it? They didn't cast anything else. Does that change anything? I don't really have any good sideboard. No, let's just run it back. I might want the Disenchant or the Oust for game 3, but... Alright, this is a 1-land hand with land tax, and I can play a turn 2 Mana Crypt, or a turn 2 Sword of Fire and Ice after a turn 1 Thraben Inspector. Okay, opponent plays a Fyndhorn Elves. Or I can play a turn 1 Thalia, which is generally a good play against a lot of decks. That would stop me from playing Sword, but this puts them off of like natural or quick natural order or anything like that. So I'll play turn 1 Thalia. It's just good. Oh, they got Caracas. That is annoying. So they can probably just Caracas like Thalia on our upkeep or on our end step. Okay, we untap. We got to flip a coin for Mana Crypt. Tails never fails. Okay, we won the flip, so we don't take any damage. We draw planes. So go to combat. Attack for 2. Okay, they put Thalia back in our hand. We play a planes. Play a land tax. And replay Thalia. Pass the turn. At least if our opponent like natural orders for, I don't know, Woodfall Primus, we can Swift Reconfiguration it. Tails never fails. We lost the flip. Okay. We draw Leonin Relic Warder. So let's go to combat. Attack for 2. Okay, the Caracas are back to our hand. I'm going to play a Thraben Inspector this time and a Sword. Pass the turn. This will let us start pinging down their mana dorks, and if they play a land, we get a land tax trigger. Okay, Simic Signet. We can Relic Warder Simic Signet and equip Sword. Okay. So, Mana Crypt. Tails never fails. We lost the flip. Draw Swords. That's actually kind of nice. Let's go ahead and equip Thraben Inspector. Go to combat. And attack them for 3. Okay, opponent jumps. Then let's play Relic Warder and take their Signet. Alright. We are, like, us playing Thalia is like porting their Caracas. Okay, they play their own Relic Warder. They're going to take Sword of Fire and Ice. Sure. So land tax. Plains, Island. We'll say Tails. We lost the flip. We draw Resto. So play a Plains. Kill their Phantasmal Image Relic Warder. Okay. We get our sword back. Swift Reconfiguration goes to the grave. Suit up the Inspector. Go to combat. And attack for 5. If they don't block, yeah, we'll just ping the elves so they do block. Alright, pass the turn. No sense in like running out of Thalia. I could have played a Selfless Spirit, but I don't think they have any Wraths or anything. I will crack a Clue on my opponent's end step. We draw Giver. Okay. Land tax. Plains. And Tails never fails. We won the flip. Alright. We draw Blade Splicer. So, play a Plains. Go to combat. Attack for 5. Okay, ping them for 2, see what we draw. Lingering Souls. So let's play a Blade Splicer. Get a Golem. Play a Selfless Spirit, just in case they have a Wrath. And I guess hold up Swords. We can discard Lingering Souls and Plains. And opponent scoops. First match of Vintage Cube. Do Doing it right. I'll see you guys in round 2. All right, welcome back to round 2, everybody. And yeah, you know, I'll keep. We are on the draw. We are against a red deck with Mox Ruby, which is a very good red deck. We draw Spara's Headquarters, so I'm going to play a Plains, play Thraben Inspector, pass the turn. I will probably... It's unfortunate. If I'd had Mana Crypt, I would have Phyrexian Revokered Figure of Destiny. And I will do that if they miss a land drop, but... we draw Lingering Souls. So, go to combat. Attack for 1. Actually, I can name Mox Ruby. That might actually be better. So fetch with Flooded Strand. Let's get our island. Yeah, we'll name Mox Ruby, because that takes him off of a mana as well. They can probably just bolt Revoker. I will not block if given the option. They attack us for 2, no blocks. They light up the stage, finding a mountain and an Abbot of Carol Keep. We draw Porcelain Legionnaire. So Porcelain Legionnaire would be painful to play this turn. We could, like, Containment Priest Surprise. I will be playing Spara's Headquarters this turn. The question is whether I want to play Porcelain Legionnaire or whether I want to play Containment Priest. If I play the Legionnaire, we can stop them from blocking unless they have a burn spell. Well, we attack first. I think I'm going to go with the Legionnaire this turn. Okay. Play Spara's Headquarters and pass. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. It's not likely they've drawn another land, so if we do get the opportunity to Armageddon, that'd be great. Block with First Strike. Oh. Kano can't read. Alright. Play Blade Splicer. Then go to combat. And attack them for 3. Opponent untaps. If they attack, we're going to chump with Blade Splicer. Okay, they play Seasoned Pyro. They ditch 2 lands. Wow, alright. So they did end up drawing lands. At least they don't get any tokens that way. Opponent plays a Mutavault and passes. We draw Plains. Play a Plains. I think what I'm going to do is flicker this Blade Splicer sorcery speed. And the reason that I'm doing it now is there's no way they don't have a Lightning Bolt or a Lightning Strike or something in their deck. And I just want to put enough creatures on board that this Armageddon is going to be favorable. Plus, that is a flyer. It is a 4 toughness flyer. So I think Flame Slash is still in the cube. That is a way they could answer Resto. Okay, they got a Lava Man. Okay, they Chain Lightning Revoker, unlocking their Mox. And they play a Goblin Guide. But they can't really attack into the first strikers. But we draw Jitte. Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, like, if I can get a Jitte on board, like, Armageddon is just absolutely GG. Jitte itself might just be GG, because if we can get any number of counters on this, we can just start killing all their creatures and gaining a ton of life. So, kill Lavamancer. I don't want you to be able to ping anything we have. And we can pass. So I think, like, what is the worst thing they can have right now? Like, a Glorybringer does not kill Resto because we can pump Resto. 6 mana, Inferno Titan. Okay, Inferno Titan can kill, like, a Golem, or Blade Splicer and Thraben Inspector. Okay. But they still can't really attack with any of these creatures without losing them. And the last card in their hand was a mountain. Okay. I think that means we win the way this clock works out. So what we're gonna do is attack with Resto. We are going to turn it into a 5/6. deal half their life in damage, get 2 counters, then Armageddon, and then, like, the best they can do is have, like, a lightning bolt or swing out. And Inferno Titan is very good, and it can kill a golem, but between blocking it and gaining life, I think we're fine. Yeah, and they drew a land. I believe the math works out that we can just kill them with 1 charge counter on GT. This opponent deals 3 damage to a golem token. We reveal Lion Sash off of Goblin Guide. So then I can block here, take 8, go to 5, and then our opponent dies. Really hope I didn't click reveal hand. Alright. Well, that worked out really well for us. Versus mono red, like, we might want Baneslayer Angel. Our opponent's deck seemed very good for a mono red deck. They have Mox Ruby. We may want Oust just as, like, additional cheap removal and sort of a delay tactic. I could swap into mono white because I'm not sure how good the opposition game plan is against them. And then we don't have to deal with, like, any painful mana base whatsoever. Mana Crypt seems like it's going to be a liability, but I think the additional power it grants is probably worth it still. So we're just going to run it back. Okay. Well, we have Mom. We have a 3-drop and a 4-drop and a removal spell. Okay, opponent starts Goblin Guide. Lingering Souls on top of our deck, which Silent Clearing does help cast. We'll play Mother of Runes. They have to have a removal spell immediately, or she'll just protect herself until the end of time. So it's very likely that they'll have like a Burst Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lightning Strike, something for her now. But she, until like my opponent's out of cards, she doesn't get any better than just dropping her on turn 1. Because it greatly limits my opponent's ability to answer her. And if they can't answer her this turn, the payoff is just so huge. Opponent plays a Mountain, plays a Chrome Mox, exiling Fury, and plays a Rabble Master. Interesting. Okay, well, we draw Opposition, which is a pretty terrible draw at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do is actually swift reconfiguration this Rabble Master and turn him into a vehicle. I believe he still retains the text to make a Goblin token every turn, but we might be able to counter that just by, like, chumping with Mom over and over again. I can't believe my opponent pitched Fury. I think that might have been wrong. So opponent has a Goblin Bombardment. They make a Goblin. They attack. They reveal Giver of Runes. So they should sack this Goblin to kill Mom in response. Yep. Okay. We take 3. Go to 12. Opponent has a Light Up the Stage. Ooh, and they're casting Hazaret the Fervent next turn. She won't be able to attack because they're drawing a card, but that is pretty brutal for us. We will play a hero, or we will play a Blade Splicer. Hopefully we draw land for Hero Blade Hold. We're 0 for 3 on Goblin Guide flips. I guess if they drew a land, they can play Hazaret and attack immediately. And they did, of course. Yeah, I think we've lost this one. Well, Extraction Specialist might get us somewhere. We'll just chump Hazaret. So they should... Oh, they're pinging us. I don't know that I agree with that play. I mean, Extraction Specialist can at least gain us life and get back Mother of Runes. Which... She can't attack or block, but she'll still have her ability. An Extraction Specialist can gain us life. Okay, opponent sacks Sunbaked Canyon to draw a card. They play a Beaumont Courier, and they animate Mishra's Factory. They make an additional Goblin, and they swing for the fences. So we block here. We block here. Is that the 8? We'd gain 3, go up to 10, and then we just die to Goblin Bombardment. So So if I block like this, we take 5, gain 3, go to 5, and then die exactly to Goblin Bombardment. I mean, I guess I have to do that, but... Yeah, Goblin Bombardment, Goblin Rabblemaster is, it's a good combo. Oh, she says... Wait a minute, why did I gain life? Did I gain life? Did I just math that very wrong? That's possible. Okay. I do want Oust, and I do want... Do I want Disenchant? I think Disenchant's probably going to be dead too often. But I think Oust is actually better than Swift Reconfiguration. Slightly. Let's try that. Alright, let's have a good opener. Maybe. I mean, we have swords. We can at least deal with one thing. I have no idea why the Dachshund is just barking. She's getting a little bit senile. She's, I think, 14. I love her to death. She's a real sweet animal, but she's just kind of going. Okay, opponent leads on Mountain, Beaumont Courier. And they attack for 1, so we take 1. Mother of Runes cannot give protection from colorless. Giver of Runes can, however. And I think I'm going to play Giver of Runes because of that. I do still have access to swords. Okay, opponent plays another Mountain and a Figure of Destiny and passes. We draw Leonin Relic Warder, which we can use to basically kill Beaumont Courier. I think I'm going to do that. I do have 2 Mother of Runes effects to protect my creatures, which is a very good place to be against mono red. So they're going to spend their turn, I think, leveling up Figure of Destiny. Oh, my end step, I mean. If all they do is level up Figure of Destiny this turn, that's pretty good. And if we're going to activate a Giver, or like a Runes effect here, we're going to activate Giver first if given the option. Okay, opponent plays a Mountain, plays a Seasoned Pyro, ditches Mutavault and Glorybringer. We untap. We draw Porcelain Legionnaire. Man, I really want mana. Selfless Spirit is extra protection, and it flies and can start attacking. So I think I'm going to go that route. For 3 mana, this does not gain flying until the 6 mana activation, so... Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land and plays Chandra. Okay, they uptick Chandra, exiling Grim Lavamancer and dealing 2 damage to us. We untap, we draw Thraben Inspector. That is a redraw. I'm going to play Porcelain Legionnaire. And we will attack Chandra for 2 in the air. Attack Kano Yugoro. That's me, sir. Moto. Moto is a quality program. Alright, we'll attack Chandra. As much of a redhead as she is not Kano. Hit Chandra down to 3. Pass the turn. Alright. Opponent plays Abbot of Carol Keep, exiling the top card of their deck. It is Mox Ruby. It's a pretty good hit. They play it. They uptick Chandra. They hit Layla. Oh my gosh. She's so good, and they just got the mana to play her. Oh, that's kind of ridiculous. Thankfully, they can't actually attack into this board. So I can give a creature protection from red, and then attack Chandra and kill Chandra, which is what I think I have to do. So we're going to give Relic Warder Pro Red. Go to combat. This doesn't fly, right? There's a wall of text on that card. Attack not Kano. And then probably cast Thraben Inspector and leave up swords. I can Caracas Layla, which I might actually do that. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's pretty decent. Level up figure? Is that what's happening? Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. I'm going to Caracas Layla. We untap. We draw Extraction Specialist. I can oust the token. I don't really want to do that. I can oust figure, which figure is not that great of a redraw. Let's attack with Spirit, because they still don't have any flying blockers. Yeah, I'm actually going to oust figure, because they can make that big enough that they can swing past Porcelain Legionnaire with it. We'll just leave up Caracas/Swords, whatever is going to be more effective. So they can ditch up to 2 cards here. They actually got rid of Layla because of Caracas. That's kind of nice for us. They drew a mountain, and then they redrew 2 new cards. So we can Containment Priest to deal with Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and that's kind of a big deal. They replay figure. And they're going to equip it with sword? Do I want to swords this? No, we'll wait. They can gain 2 extra life. That's kind of annoying off of swords, but I think not letting them re-equip the equipment is the way to go here. They have a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. Opponent still cannot attack into the Wall of Runes. Wall of Runes. That's actually a magic card, but not what I'm talking about. So, swords figure. Okay, opponent's going to gain 1 extra life. We untap. We draw Flooded Strand, finally. Play Flooded Strand. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Pass the turn. And we are going to try and Containment Priest in response to this ability, because that will deal with the reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Note to self, if Containment Priest is on board and Extraction Specialist resolves, bringing back a creature. Hello? If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and wasn't cast, exile it instead. This is a non-token creature that entered the battlefield because it was exiled and returned as a creature. I'm gonna have to report that bug. Opponent plays equips Dragon's Rage Channeler and passes. So I'm gonna fetch up Spara's Headquarters just so I don't have any more tap lands in my deck. We untap. We draw Thalia. Play our own Sword of Fire and Ice. And pass the turn. Now this should be exiled. So they're cloning Seasoned Pyro. I can't think of a reason for that not to work, because it's not a token, and it enters as a creature. They are going to abrade my sword, and I can't do anything about that, because this only gives indestructible to creatures. This only lets another creature you control gain protection. Yeah, that's sad times. Now this creature has flying and must attack each combat if... Well, block and block. Give this protection from red. Okay, we untap. Draw Resto. I think we just cast Thalia this turn. And pass. Having another first striking blocker on the board is nice. Opponent plays a Goldspan Dragon. That is annoying. Now, I don't understand why they didn't just clone Goldspan Dragon, but I guess they want to draw more cards. This is a problem, because I've used both my oust and my swords. Well, block. Give it pro red. Take 3. We untap. We draw Jite. So that's why they brought in the Abrade. I will be playing out Jite. And passing. Yeah, that's what they should have done last turn, I think. The worst part of it is they shouldn't be able to do this because that should have gotten exiled by Containment Priest. Alright, alright. You got me, opponent. You got me. I'll see you guys in round 3. Oh, it should have been a 3-0! I mean, we also didn't draw lands for 11 turns, but... ridiculous. I'll see you guys in round 3. Alrighty. It's a land tax start into an Armageddon, so let's go. We'll be on the draw for round 3. Opponent leads on a swamp. We draw Celestial Colonnade. So play land tax. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to Thoughtseize us. Not sure what they take here. Jite in hindsight's probably obvious. And they play a Mox Sapphire. Okay. We'll play Celestial Colonnade and Mother of Runes. Pass the turn. I'm willing to play Mom here because if she survives, she's going to be great against whatever our opponent's doing. And if she doesn't, we can get her back with Extraction Specialist. Okay, we draw Phyrexian Revoker, which we can do. We can shut off Mox Sapphire with. I'm gonna go with the Extraction Specialist play. Mom doesn't generally attack or block, so just having the ability to have her protect stuff is, I think, still gonna be worth it. Like, opponent has to have another removal spell here. And if they tap out for removal, we're getting griefed, so there goes Armageddon. Alright. We draw Hero of Bladehold, so let's go to combat. And attack for 3. Opponent does not block. I'll play Thraben Inspector, get a clue, and revoke the Mox. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Nurturing Peatland, and passes. We untap, land tax, get Island, Plains, Plains, then draw a Relic Warder. I think we play an island, go to combat, and attack here and here. Okay, opponent blocks. So we're going to give pro black. Okay, opponent's going to Abrade Mom. That's fine. We give protection from black. So the point of that was not to unlock their Mox, it was to kill Mom. We have 6 power on board. My opponent could have like a Toxic Deluge, so I'm just going to play out Leonine Relic Warder so I can threaten to swing lethal and crack this clue. But this does deny them a mana. Every opponent we've played against has had a Mox, hasn't they? I think so. Alright, opponent plays a Vampire Hexmage and a Mountain. Sacks a Silent Clearing. So if we draw Swift Reconfiguration, we win. We draw Silent Clearing, we draw Mana Crypt. I'm gonna actually cycle Silent Clearing. Okay, we draw Opposition. Opposition's fantastic. Yeah, actually, we're going to play Opposition. Then play around Mana Tithe. Okay, opponent scoops. And run it back. No adjustments. Okay, we've got Plains, Giver of Runes into Jitte. So I think I'm going to keep. Opponent did mulligan to 6. They lead on a Plains. So opponent is playing 4-color Vampire Hexmage dot deck. Okay, Mountain, Mox Sapphire. Okay, they've got Layla. Well, Layla is pretty good. She exiles a Dragon's Rage Channeler and hits us for 3. We draw a sword. I think we're going to swords her immediately, because otherwise she's like drawing cards, gaining tons of life. Since Giver cannot protect itself, I'm going to have Giver attack. Opponent untaps, plays a Swamp, plays a Sedgemoor Witch. We draw a Blade Splicer. I can either play Relic Warder and take out Mox Sapphire, or I can play out Jitte. My concern is my opponent has removal. So I think I'm going to stick a few things on board and hopefully draw a little more mana along the way so we can like play and equip Jitte with Giver Runes back up. Okay, so opponent makes a Pest token off Night's Whisper, plays a Nurturing Peatland. So this is really more Mardu aggro than anything else. Okay, there goes Jitte. Because I don't think my opponent can allow that when they're playing a bunch of 1/1s. Okay, well, if we could get a land to play Sword, that'd be pretty good. There's a land. So fetch, get an island. Play Sword of Fire and Ice. Opponent does have a Braid in their deck, but we do need to get this out quickly. Is Ward spell or ability? It is. Okay. So that's going to be painful to get rid of, because I'm not willing to give up Giver of Runes here. So we're going to have to pay a lot of life to kill it with Sword of Fire and Ice. Actually, that's assuming we connect. I would have to give protection preemptively as long as they don't play a color of creature other than green or black here. Bone Shredder. I guess pro red, because they have a mountain untapped. And they play a Beaumont Courier. We untap and draw Spara's Headquarters. So play Spara's Headquarters, and we will play a Blade Splicer. This will at least give us a First Striker, which could allow us to deal with the Sedgemoor Witch without proccing the Ward trigger. Opponent does not pay for Bone Shredder. They play Braid's Cabal Minion. That's pretty good with Sedgemoor Witch. I'm going to flash in a Containment Priest and then sack a Plains here. We draw Porcelain Legionnaire. Porter. Let's equip Blade Splicer. And I guess attack, because we need to start doing something. Okay. Opponent chumps with a Pest. They gain a life. They untap. I imagine they sack their other Pest. Yeah, okay. Because they can just... They have another Mox? A second Mox? We're getting griefed. Okay, Lion Sash down. We untap. And I'm going to sack, I think, Silent Clearing. Okay, we draw Thalia. So let's go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent is willing to trade. That's fine. Play Thalia. Pass the turn. Okay. Now opponent has to sack. They sacked Nurturing Peatland to draw. That's to see if they could hit an instant for Sedgemoor Witch. Then they sack a Plains. They play Abbot, hoping to hit a land. They do find a land. Okay. They pass. We are going to sack Containment Priest. Draw a Resto. Resto is unfortunately useless. Suit up the Golem. I don't want to give them back their other mocks, because that's just one more thing to sack to Braids. If I suit up the Golem here, they can't block with Abbott, and if they want to block it down, they have to lose their 2 most valuable creatures. Okay, so they're just going to chump. That's fine. Opponent sacks a Mox. Plays a Bloodstained Mire. Now we've got a sack. I think I'm going to sack an island here. I was really hoping I'd draw land, but I did not. Attack for 5. Opponent chumps with Sedgemoor Witch. At this point, I think I am going to sack Relic Warder. Braids is a really messed up Magic card, and I'm glad she's seeing play in this cube. She's a great card. She really is. Okay, opponent plays a Lava Claw Reaches and a Bloodthirsty Adversary. Thankfully, they cannot cast anything off Bloodthirsty Adversary. But they cannot beat the Sword of Fire and Ice. And that's the match. So we did get there. Sword of Fire and Ice, getting us past that Bloodthirsty Adversary, was going to force them to either chump with Braids or lose Braids, and we were going to draw a card, and we were going to start drawing multiple cards a turn. So that's why our opponent conceded. But I'm going to be doing some of these pre-recorded. I really enjoy playing Vintage Cube, so you'll see these videos interspersed here and there. They're kind of timeless, which is why I'm not streaming them. I might stream Vintage Cube, but what I'm going to do is probably just pre-record these and have a few that I can upload if there are weeks where, you know, I'm just not feeling like I'm able to record. And we can fill in a few days so that you guys don't have to go Kano-less again for a while. But I really enjoy this format. I think if you guys have a Moto account, you should definitely give it a try. It's a ton of fun. And I want you to know that you're all wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!